Welcome everyone to our third in a quick series on determining resistance of dynamic seating components. Today we're going to talk about determining resistance in dynamic head support hardware. So dynamic head support hardware provides resistance to movement of the client's head through an elastomer, a spring, or a hydraulic. In the case of seating dynamics, this is accomplished through elastomers. This resistance allows client movement, stores the energy within the dynamic component, that elastomer, and then that energy in turn assists the client in returning to an upright posture. Without resistance, the head support would simply move rearward and stay there. Seating Dynamics has two different types of dynamic head support hardware. The single-axis hardware moves bidirectionally, back and forth in a single plane. Multi-axis hardware allows for multi-directional movement and in turn allows us to capture rotation of the client's head. So each hardware package, whether single-axis or multi-axis, comes standard with 8 blue elastomers. This provides a firm level of resistance for the client. 4 of these elastomers are called impact elastomers. They are designed to absorb and diffuse the forces of the client as they move their head rearward or posteriorly. The other 4 are called rebound elastomers. They're designed to slow the return of upright to the head support hardware so that it doesn't suddenly move forward in a jerky manner for the client. The elastomers are arranged a bit different in the multi-axis configuration to again accommodate those multiple directions of movement. The single-axis hardware ships with 4 additional green impact elastomers. Those are extra firm if those are required, and the multi-axis ships with 2 additional green impact elastomers. So how do we determine which elastomers to use? Well, if the resistance is too soft, the dynamic head support hardware will not return to upright as readily, and you might notice that the client does not have enough stability from the head pad, and perhaps they're assuming neck hyperextension. If the resistance is too firm, then the client may not be able to move the head support at all, and as a result there will not be very much force diffusion. The head support also needs to be adjusted correctly. This is something I spend quite a bit of time doing in my own practice with my clients, is adjusting head supports. Here on the left, my friend Jonathan is using dynamic head support hardware. However, the pad was positioned a little too far back. We needed to move it forward, as you see on the right side, so that when he extends, he doesn't end up looking at the ceiling and assuming that neck hyperextension. One unique consideration with dynamic head support hardware is leverage. Depending on how many links you use between the head pad and where this is attached to the wheelchair frame or to the back of the wheelchair seating system, you can have a series of links. There might be 2 or 3 links, and these can be of different lengths. If we have a very long lever arm, we're going to have more force going through those elastomers, and you may even need a firmer elastomer as a result. So keep in mind the amount of leverage that you have created. It's important to check these elastomers at least once a year to make sure that there's not too much wear and tear that may indicate required replacement. If you notice the client is moving more readily, maybe further back in their head support hardware, that could indicate the need for replacement as well. And Seating Dynamics has instructions that they can provide to you on how to make this change. So what's our bottom line? Well, the ability to vary resistance in any of these dynamic components is going to allow us to better meet an individual's unique needs, their individual needs. And although all of our Seating Dynamics components come with a standard level of resistance, it's very critical at the fitting to make sure that's the best and most appropriate level of resistance for that individual. If it is not, that can be changed right there at the delivery. If there's been wear and tear, then these can be changed out as well. If you have further questions, feel free to reach out directly to us, and I hope to see you in a future quick class soon. Thanks.